Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. First of all, let me say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope you guys are having a great time like I am. I've been playing a lot of games, relaxing. It's been a crazy week, guys. A really crazy week at work. But, I've been going through feeds and I've been actually stepping away from watching YouTube content when it comes to video games because I'm not getting the content that I want. I really want to see stuff about video games, right? Nowadays, I don't know if this is happening to you, but everything is marketing or political opinions about, whatever. It's like you go into a channel, oh, it's a video game related podcast, and it's all about politics. I guess it's interesting to discuss, but I mean, these are some bad takes sometimes, uninformed takes a lot of times, and it's just not what I'm there for. If I want to read that kind of stuff, I'd read the newspaper or something like that. That's how old I am. I want to pick up a newspaper. But you know what I'm saying. I would go into the news, the type of news that I like to watch, whatever, more informed take if that's what I wanted to see. A political commentary show where different points of view, something like that. But, some of it, there is value on the everyday Joe having an opinion. But every day, every day, on every subject, these people have takes. I can't, I can't do it. Something has got to be about the games, and I'm turning to sites like Instagram now and other sites. But I wanted to go over with you guys some video game stuff. Some stuff that I found interesting, some stuff that maybe I want to pursue, stuff that I like looking at. I don't know if you guys do too, but I like looking at how people set up their rooms, maybe get some ideas for my rooms. I'm turning off the sound here because most of them have music on. But this display here, I like, right? A lit display with every console. That's a project that I would like to do. Look at that Gears of War console, right? And hopefully I'm able to capture everything. This guy has a fridge, and he painted his room black. That's something I've been seeing more, like the old arcades. Some arcades used to have different color paint in there, but this one here goes through the whole thing of actually building your space out with black paint, recessed lighting, putting some, I guess, some arcade one-ups are there, maybe, and some real arcades. I like that Donkey Kong there, a fridge, One thing that really caught my eye, guys, is this picture right here. I played Asteroid so many times as a kid, but I never remember seeing the machine from the profile, right? I always saw it against the wall, against other machines. So I was just looking at forward. I was so enamored by the game at the time that I would just look at the front, but I never saw the side and how deep this thing actually was and the angle that it sits in. After, all the time working in manufacturing and looking at profile of things, and stuff like that when I was working in those areas back in the early 2000s, I remember doing a lot of profile work with some, of all things, aerospace parts that look like this, So this is pretty cool to see, and you get to see the back of these machines. Look at those tubes. Look at those tubes. Oh my gosh! Look at how this thing was put back then. And this, even though these are great machines, guys, don't get me wrong. This is a real arcade machine. This is the issue that some people have, and some of the purists don't understand, is the weight of these things and handling them around your house, especially us that are getting older, that have knee issues. We don't want to be lifting a lot of heavy things, and then a lot of it is for show, a lot of it is for family. So, if there's one machine I would buy for myself that I would do the extra effort, I think it would be a Donkey Kong, right? If I wanted to buy an original. But I wouldn't mind having replicas of other things, you know what I'm saying, just to have them around as a display. I don't fault anybody for that. And this is the typical scene that we would see. This is the machine I remember, right, looking at. Now, I found this thing, guys, and this I found quite interesting. Look, it just looks like something like an old Nintendo controller from the NES era, but it has a screen. And it has that insert in the side, and they never, at least I didn't see if this could be pulled out, it seems like it can, right? That would be something for travel. I think that these are the kind of things that I like to keep in my place overseas. Something like that, especially because I don't like being in the internet as much, when I'm on vacation and stuff like that. I just want to play the game and tune everything else out, maybe make some recordings for the channel, but I don't really get on the internet, and this is the kind of stuff that I would like to play on the go or just sitting on a table somewhere, The other thing that I saw, guys, is because I own the soundtrack of Persona 4 Golden. I have it a couple of times. But this is the vinyl, right? And I really like the look of this. And I've never collected vinyls for video games. People out there like the Happy Console Gamer, they're really into this stuff. But not me, I like the physical aspect of these things and having them. But for me now, with so many games, room has become an issue, right? There's only so much room you can have. And I don't want to have my stuff in storage anymore. It kind of defeats the purposes of the enjoyment when I have to put stuff in storage. It really does. So, if they had some kind of mini, I wouldn't mind. But I think for people who collect this stuff, I think it's great. I really do. Last but not least, I've seen this gun around. It's popping up more and more. Apparently, you hook it up to the computer. There's some software here. And, the one thing in the home arcades have been lacking is the actual guns. They're not the best. A lot of people replace them. But something like this that you could, just buy and play and hook up to your laptop, hook it up to a screen. My kiddos really like these games. Of all the physical games that I have, guys, I really don't have any interest in most of them. 99% of them. But the light gun games and the Wii stuff, that they like. So this would be something for me, right? This would be something that I would like to look at eventually. Do I have time now? No, I barely have time for my own stuff, right? I barely have time for the things that I want to do now. But guys, I just wanted to go over some things, things that I've seen on the internet, talk about actual retro things. This is something I want to do moving forward. Actually talk about the games, guys. I'm just burned out, man. I'm burned out from my feed, right? And I'm trying to be as selective as I can, but it doesn't matter what you subscribe to. You have all these channels that are supposed to be, right? They're supposed to be about video games, but they're not. And I really want to get back to the games. I'm not interested in what your thoughts are in life. I don't want your advice, your life advice. I don't want any other advice. I could see if it's about the company, you want to criticize the company, but some of these people are getting into like the personal lives of people, and how they think. And is the game good? Let's start there, right? And there are plenty of good games that we could talk about from the past that we can expand those things on. And there's many current events, right, that we can talk about now from a different perspective, right? Like the next episode is going to be about this arcade cabinet, the Street Fighter, just this horrible launch that they have, and look at the problems. You see what went wrong with such a great idea. I think that's a very interesting topic to hit for most people, for people who follow the home arcade scene. I think that's interesting, and you can make it interesting without it being, all drama filled and crazy like that. It's fun to make, it's fun to make fun of people that do silly things on the internet. But it's that fine line, right? Like where you find it comedic, but you don't want to go overboard. You know what I'm saying? The people, when they do bad things, they sort themselves out. Eventually, they go by the wayside. It doesn't matter what they're doing. But it's fun to laugh at them once in a while, of course. But the essence of it all, it's really the games, and the games we love to play now, and the games that we love to play before. I want to spend a lot more time enjoying my collection, enjoying my games, enjoying my hardware, guys. And what I wanted to show you, last but not least here, is my gifts. My Father's Day gifts. Right? There's other ones, but these are the retro ones, right? I got a Spider-Man shirt. Oh yeah, stuff for the channel. Hey, what do you know about Ren and Stimpy? What did you know? Look at this one. Oh yeah, baby. That Switch 2 is gonna get fed. And I got a GameStop here. How much is it for? Oh my. That's a lot. And I got another shirt here. A Sonic shirt. Ooh. There it is. Look at that. Shadow Baby. What a great Father's Day. Guys, I hope you guys are having an amazing time out there. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, if you like this kind of content, if you want to hear about retro games, mostly some business stuff, and making fun of silly people once in a while, you came to the right place. We're going to talk business next. Thank you so much, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. The business of video games, that is. Take care.